Today you're going to learn about Tableau's 5 different actions. Now, actions are great within Tableau because they give the user interactivity. All right, so actions, parameters, and also filters or quick filters are a great way to make your dashboard dynamic and allow the end user to kind of play with it and make it more interactive and fun for the end users. All right, so I am Tyler Lubin, founder of Vizual Intelligence, and today I'm going to show you all 5 of the different dashboard actions, each with the examples. If you want to follow along, you could download the workbook below, which also has a final workbook. All right, so there is 5 different actions we're going to go through. We're going to do the filter, the highlight, the URL, the go to sheet, and the Tableau set dashboard. All right, so keep watching and we'll get into it. All right, so what is a Tableau action? A Tableau action gives a dashboard interactivity. Now, this can be through filtering, this can be through highlighting, this can be going to no sheet, or using set values. There's 5 different types, but the gist of it is it gives the end user interactivity. All right, so a perfect example of this is this example here. We're looking at this data. I can click on this box right here, and then it's going to filter the data below it. All right, so we are adding interactivity through the dashboard by using actions. All right, and this is just one example of using a dashboard action. All right, now there's 5 different types. There is the filter action, the highlight action, the go to URL action, the go to sheet action, and the change set values. Now the 2 new ones that just came out is the go to sheet and the change set values, which is really important and really robust. But we're just going to do a general overview of all 5 of them today. Maybe later I'll create a video on just the change set values action, which is pretty powerful. All right, so the first one we're going to look into is the Tableau filter action. All right, so if you're following along, I have the Tableau Actions Beginning workbook up. Like I said, you can download that below if you want to follow along. I already have these sheets pre-created, so it's a lot easier, but I'm just going to go through them. All right, so on this one, we have a quick tree map that's looking at average salary. I made a parameter, which is called selected dimension, and that selected dimension allows me to switch through these 4 different dimensions. All right, if you want to look at it, you can just right click the parameter. You see I just listed out these 4 different dimensions, and then I got selected dimension again, and I wrote out this equation so that it can grab all 4 of them. All right, so now I have a parameter which allows me to look at my average salary by these 4 different dimensions. All right, and then I created another worksheet, and I did a select a dimension 2. Now, only thing I did was right click and duplicate it, and then renamed it, and then did the same thing here, right clicked and duplicate it, renamed it, and then also changed the parameter here to the selected dimension 2. All right, so that was really quick to do. And I created this one, which is a selected dimension 2. All right, and it's the same exact dimensions as the other ones, but I could flip through. And on this one, I did a bar chart looking at the average salary. All right, so these 2 are already created. Next thing we're going to do is create the dashboard. All right, so I'm going to grab my Tableau filter action, and I'm going to put that in my dashboard, and I'm going to grab my Tableau filter action 2 and throw that in my dashboard. Next, I'm going to grab my selected dimension, and I'm going to move it, and I'm going to move it right next to this one here. So I'm going to grab a horizontal container because you use a horizontal container to stack things left and right of each other. Put this in here, and then I'm going to put this in the horizontal container with it. All right, then I'm going to go ahead and delete this container over here. Next, I'm just going to kind of reshape things how I want it. I'm going to make this fit my entire view, and I'm going to bring in that second parameter. All right, so now I got both parameters in here. I want my parameters to be stacked up on top of each other. So I'm going to put a vertical container in here and put the first one in there, and then grab the second and put that one in there too. Then I'm going to change this to single value list. All right, so I know I did that a little quick, but this is what the end dashboard looks like. All right, so what I'm doing is this first one, I can pick what parameter I'm looking at or which value I'm looking at. And the second one, I could pick which value I'm looking at. Now, what I'm trying to do is make a drill down dashboard. So what I'm going to do is, all right, I'm going to say, all right, I'm looking at this one by department. So I can see my average salary by each department. And then when I click on marketing, I'm going to see the average salary for each nationality for just marketing. So I'm going to use this worksheet as a filter to filter my other worksheet. Now you can use this to, if we had more worksheets, to filter multiple worksheets. But in this one, we're just going to filter one just for the example. All right, so now all we got to do is go up to dashboard and go to actions. And I'm going to go add actions. And in this one, we're doing filter. And I get my add action dialog. So this is just the name of it. I'm just going to do filter action. If we were going to do a menu action, which I'll discuss in a second, this name needs to be some type of description because that is what's going to actually be seen on the end user. So we just name it here. We have our source sheets. We pick which dashboard it is, which on default, it's going to be this dashboard. This is our source sheet. So this says whenever we do something to this sheet, I want it to filter my target sheet. So this example, whenever I do something or click on something on my target, my Tableau filter action, I want it to filter my Tableau filter action too. Now this says what does it run on? Whenever I hover over something, whenever I actually select something, or whenever I do a menu, which is like a hyperlink. So that means I click on it and then hit this hyperlink and then it runs it. Okay. And that's where I was saying this is important when you do the menu, because you click on something and it's going to say filter action, and then you click that and then it's going to run it. So this might be better to say, filter the worksheet below or something like that if we're going to use a menu. But on this one, we're just going to use a select. The clearing options is once I select something and then unselect it, it's going to show all the values. Once I select something and unselect it, it's going to leave it whatever I selected last. And then if I select it and then unselect it, it's going to exclude everything. So it's just going to be blank. Okay. Target filters is going to be what I want to filter off of. So right now we're just looking at one dimension. But if we were looking at like a scatter plot or something that's multi-dimension, and it's, for example, we're looking at something like, all right, category and subcategory. If I only wanted to filter on category and ignore subcategory, then I would do select fields and say just do subcategory or just do category, but ignore the other dimensions. All right. But normally you're probably going to do all fields, so you're just going to leave that alone. All right. And then hit OK and OK. And then whenever we hit HR, for example, it's going to filter my view below to just HR data. And then I can look at different dimensions, looking at just HR. And if I do department, you can verify here that it's just HR department. If I click legal, it's just legal. Marketing is just marketing. All right. Another cool thing is you can hold control and select multiple ones if you like. So that you can choose more than one. Now, one thing I do want to mention is you can have multiple actions on one worksheet. That's including multiple filter actions and multiple other actions like highlight and sets and all that. So you're not stuck on one action per worksheet or per dashboard. You can do as many as you want. Just be careful to not make it confusing and all cluttered up. All right, so that is the first one, which is the filter action, which is really powerful. I use that a lot. I probably use that 80% of the time compared to everything else. All right, so get used to using filter actions, and I use them on every dashboard, so it's pretty important to learn how to use them really well. All right, the next one we're going to be working on is the highlight action. Now, the highlight action calls attention to specific marks by highlighting them. So in a situation where you don't want to filter something, you just want to highlight it, that's when you're going to use a highlight action. All right, so let's look at our highlight action worksheets that I already have created. We are looking at average salary for each employee. So these are in the employee codes. We can see who's the top employees as far as salary goes. The next sheet is plotting out the average salary and the merit increase for each employee. All right, and then we're going to put this together and we're going to start playing with the highlight action. All right, so let's go ahead and grab the dashboard or the worksheet where we can see each employee and the scatter plot, and let's put that below it. All right, now let's go ahead and go to dashboard and actions again, and add actions and highlight this time. All right, and I'm just going to call this my highlight action. All right, and this is pretty similar to the other one. Whenever I hover, select, or menu with this sheet, which we're going to do the Tableau highlight action 1, it's going to highlight Tableau action 2. And here we can select the actual fields, kind of like the other one. We can select the date and time, which will highlight the date corresponding to the other worksheet, or we can do all fields. All right, we only got one dimension on here, so it doesn't matter. We're just going to leave it all fields. And this time, instead of select, I'm going to do a hover. All right, hit OK, hit OK. And then you'll see when I hover over this employee code, it's going to filter it, or it's going to highlight it in my scatter plot. And you also see I have the average lines on this, and you can see the average line, the kind of X and Y coordinates of this person compared to everyone else. So it kind of gives you a good visual of where they are going across the board. And this is kind of cool because you want to use a highlight action instead of a filter action, this one, because if we filtered this, it would just be one dot, all right? And that's kind of worthless. So we use a highlight action here so we can see where that person is compared to everyone else, but be able to identify that person really easy, okay? All right, and that is an example of a highlight action. All right, the next one we're going to do is the URL action. Now this one is kind of, you can be pretty creative with it. This one is going to create a hyperlink outside of Tableau so that you can go to, or inside actually, so that you go to like a website, download a file or send an email. And there's some different creative things you can do, but it's going to run a URL. Okay, so you can have this run inside of Tableau by bringing in the web page, and it'll run it inside of Tableau, or you can have something run outside of Tableau, and you hit it, and it'll bring up like Chrome or something. Okay, in this example, we're going to create an email template for support. So when you click on this email icon, it's going to bring up an email, and it's going to do Outlook for me, where you can email support about this dashboard. All right, so this is kind of cool if you have a dashboard and you have a specific email that you need your end users to email you, and then you can hard code like a subject in there, and then whenever you see the subject, it forwards it to the right person or something. All right, so you can do a lot of creative things. This is just one example of it. All right, so let's go ahead and create this worksheet. I went in and added a image that is a email icon that I downloaded and put it into my shapes folder in my Tableau repository. Literally, only thing you do is download the icon using whatever kind of icon website you like. Then you go to my Tableau repository. You go to your shapes, and I can show you. You go to my Tableau repository. You go to your shapes. And then you can paste it in here or create a folder. I created a custom icon folder, and I pasted in there, and it looks like this. All right, so that's what I copied in there, and then I'm going to use that in my dashboard. All right, and if you need to learn how to do it, there's plenty of articles out there. Just Google how to use custom shapes in Tableau or something like that, and there'll be articles all about it. All right, so what I'm going to do is create just kind of a little dummy field, and I'm going to call this email. And I'm just going to do blank, just 2 quotation marks. I'm going to throw that in my rows. I'm going to change this to a shape. And I'm going to go to more shapes, find my custom icon folder, and I'm going to put that email icon there. All right, so I got my email icon there. Now I just clean all this up. I'm going to remove my row dividers, increase the size a little bit. And then in my tooltip, I'm going to give some instructions. All right, I'm going to say, click this to email support. All right. Now, next thing I'm going to do is go to my dashboard. I just duplicated the other dashboard we're using just because it's really not important in this one. And I'm going to grab my icon and throw it in here. And I'm going to do fit entire view, remove the title, and just make it smaller and put it in this little corner over here. All right, so the idea is whenever somebody comes over here, they hover over it, they'll be like, all right, click this to email support. And then when we click it, it'll bring up an email kind of already generated for them. All right, so now let's go to dashboard and let's do actions, add actions, go to URL. This, if we're going to do a hyperlink, this would be important, but we're just going to do go to URL action. And it's going to be on select. And this is going to be for the email support. Now, I already have this written out and I'll explain it to you. I'm just going to copy it in there and then explain what I'm doing. All right, so you write this word here, and then you're going to put whatever email you want it to be sent to. And then you put this subject code right here. And then you put whatever you want the subject of the email to be. So in this situation, it's going to be sent to support, and the subject of the email is going to be the name of the dashboard. All right, and then you can hit test, and you'll see it open up my Outlook, and that's my mail. That's how I send mail, and it's going to have the email that we have there, and then the subject, and then all you got to do is write it here. So you can pre-write in all that information. All right. So once we do that, we can hit OK, and then we'll hover over here, click on this icon, and then the Outlook email pops up, which is popped up on my other screen. All right, so that's just one way to do it. You could do other cool things like embed like a YouTube video where, explaining something, maybe your dashboard or something. You can do, pictures where you hit it and it brings up a URL for a picture. There's a lot of kind of cool different things you do. Just kind of Google around and you'll see some different cool examples. But that's the basis of how you use a URL action, which once again, you can use internally within Tableau where it actually shows the web page in Tableau, or it can be sent, outside, or you can even do like a download link where you click it and it downloads a file or downloads something for you. All right, so that is an example of a Tableau go to URL action. The next one is Tableau go to sheet actions, which is one of the new ones. This one, I already have all this stuff built out. But what it is it's going to be, we're going to have a dashboard here where we have the total salary on the top and the average merit increase. And then we have another dashboard, which is a total salary overview. And what we're going to do here is whenever we're end users is looking at this, whenever they click on total salary, it's going to jump and take them to the total salary dashboard. All right, so this is just going to jump from one dashboard to the other. It's not going to filter anything or do anything special. It's just going to go to that worksheet by clicking on that worksheet. All right, and this is pretty simple. All you got to do is go to actions, and I already got that one built, but I'm just going to show you again. Go to sheet and just name this. Go to sales or salary overview dashboard. And this is an example of the menu that I'm going to do. So this is that hyperlink I was talking about. So whenever you select total salaries, you're going to go to the Tableau. Let's see, where is it at? All right, go to sheet salary dashboard. Hit OK, And I can either click on it, which is that one I already had on there, or I can do the hyperlink one, which is the menu. So that's me clicking on it and then clicking on this. All right. And then, like I said, it literally just goes a sheet. I mean, this one is super simple. You're literally just jumping from one sheet to the other without any filters or anything being applied. You're just jumping sheets. All right. So that was really easy, but you could have done that previously using a filter action, but it seems like Tableau just made it a little easier, saved a few steps that are a little more intuitive, but it's just jumping sheets. All right. The last one is the sets action, which is one that is really powerful. That one just came out. I've been reading a lot about it. Like I said, I'm probably going to create a whole blog or video just on this because it's so powerful. All right. But I'm just going to give you one example here. All right, the next one we're going to talk about is the set action. That is the new action as well, and it's really robust. There's been a lot of talk about it. It's one of those really powerful things that kind of is like game changer for Tableau type of thing. The set action allows you to change values in a set by interacting with marks on your visualization. So you can dynamically change what's in your set or out your set by interacting with the visualization, which kind of opens up a whole new ballpark for things. All right, so what you can do is you can create that set, and then you can apply different type of behaviors to different sheets based on that set, which really makes it kind of unique. So for example, you make that set and you can filter one view by that set, you can color one by that set, and then a different view you can hide data from by that same set. So that one set can do a lot of different things. All right, so let's go ahead and do an example. I'm just going to do an easy example so you can kind of get the concept of what it is. But like I said, this is really powerful, really robust. So I definitely would kind of research a little bit more on this. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a quick scatter plot. All right, we're going to look at salary and put that on the columns, merit increase, put that on the rows. And I'm going to be looking at this by employee code. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and flip this. So I'm going to look at it like this. All right, so that's my first visualization. The next one, I'm going to do a bar chart. I'm going to be looking at it by department. And I'm going to be looking at it by the count of employees, which I created. And this is just a count D of employee code. So this is going to give me just distinct employees for each department. All right, there we go. Go ahead and flip this. And I'm big on style and stuff, so I'm just gonna do this real quick. All right, there we go. Now I'm gonna create a set, and I'm just gonna create kind of an empty set just to get things going. So I'm gonna right-click employee code, and I'm gonna do set, and I'm just gonna call this employee code set, and hit OK. All right, and I'm gonna put this in color, and it's gonna be all one color right now because there's nothing in my set, but that's all right. I'm gonna go to the dashboard, and I'm gonna start putting all this together. So I got my set scatter plot, I got my set bar chart, and I exit out of this. All right, now this is where things get kind of interesting. From here, I'm gonna go to dashboard and actions, and add actions. And then I go to this new change set values. And we can call this whatever we want. Once again, if it's menu, then it's more important. But this is just set actions for now. And I'm going to do it on select. So this looks a little different. We got our source sheet. On this one, it's going to be my scatter plot. So when I select something on my scatter plot, all right, the target set is in my employee info data set. And this is the set that I'm going to select. And then we have our clearing options, keep set values, add all values to the set, and remove all values to the set, kind of similar to the filters. Options is worded a little differently. And then hit OK, and then hit OK. Now, let's say we want to look at every employee that has a high merit increase. I can just highlight these, and you'll see now everything in blue is going to be in my set. Everything gray is going to be out. So now I can see which part is within how many employees within each department are in this high merit increase population. Or we can do anyone that has kind of like $100,000 or more in salary, which kind of find close to that line. All right, and then you can see, all right, well, it looks like a lot of people in legal, marketing, and tech support make the most money. It looks like everybody in finance, HR, sales, and training kind of in the lower salary compared to the high salary. So that you can use this, and I mean you can whatever combination you want, and it will dynamically color this bar chart below depending on who's in your set. or who's out your set. All right, so you're using a visualization to change the values that are in your set. And then you can use that set to color things, to split things, to filter things, or anything else. And you can use that in many different combinations. All right. So the set action allows you to do a lot of new things and a lot of cool things. But this is the gist of how you use it. All right, that is the 5 different actions in Tableau. That was just a brief overview. As you see, we spent a lot of time just going over each one. Definitely research and do a little more. If you have any questions about any of these different sets, or you got any cool examples, let me know. Like I said, if you wanted to follow along in this for this video, the workbook was below. If you want that final workbook, it is below as well. So go ahead and download that. Also subscribe to my channel if you want any more Tableau training. Like I said, we do all Tableau trainings and Tableau tutorials. We're all about Tableau, so we're constantly putting out new videos. All right, well, I will see you next video.